Most respected Vice Chancellor JMI, Professor Mazhar Asif Saab, Namaskar. Registrar, my friend Professor Matab Alam Rasvi Saab, Professor Sharma, Sanjeev Kumar Sharma, former VC, MGCU, Professor Sanjeev Kumar, whom we all heard just now, Professor Nilofer Afzal and moderator Dr. Mariam, distinguished professors of NMCPCR. I'm told that they are the main organizers of this event. Of course, other departments also, teachers of JMI, Jamia Millia Islamia, my dear friend Dr. Rahmatullah Sahib, who probably requested or worked over the Honorable Vice Chancellor to get me to this event. Dear students, distinguished invitees, friends, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I should thank Professor, the Vice Chancellor of this institution, Professor Mazhar Asif Saab, for extending this invitation to me. He has been, I have to mention that he has been extremely, extremely kind, because in a gap of 2 or 3 days, this is the second time he had again asked me to come over. A very rare privilege. I was supposed to be here 2 days back for that, the sustainable goal related issue, the event, on which day I could not make it because of some very pressing official commitments. And to get this kind of an invite from my Vice Chancellor on quick succession, it's a great privilege. He was just mentioning about the protocol of Vice Chancellor, one Vice Chancellor honoring the previous Vice Chancellor. At the time, Vice Chancellor is not a small thing. It is to my younger students who may think that every day he is spending a lot of time, so he is one. No. I come from the state of Kerala, where E.M.S. Nambudiripad, I share the same name with him, the first Chief Minister, democratically elected, Chief Minister. In 56, Ramaswamy Mudaliar was a Vice Chancellor of Kerala University at the time. CM had always gone and met him there, said that you represent the higher education, you are appointed by the governor, who's the president's nominee in the state. So he never called him to his office. So these are stories that I have grown up with hearing about the great post of Vice Chancellor. It's exhilarating to be in this lofty precincts, my dear friends. I've been in Delhi for the last 35 years or something. I belong to the 90 onwards, I've been in Delhi. Hello, yeah. But I should shamefully acknowledge that this is the first time that I'm coming to the campus of Jawaharlal Nehru University. I'm extremely sorry for that. I should not have waited for this kind of an invite to be here. It is my mistake. As I say, mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. I should have been here, because it's an humbling experience to be in. When I look at it, I understand, how did I, because whenever I go to Bhubaneswar, I make it a point to go to Cuttack to see Ravenshaw College. When I go to Pune, I make it a point to see Ferguson. And most of the visits in Tamil Nadu, Madras, I see the Presidency or Loyola, because it is great to be passing through the universities and just breathe the essence. But somehow I have not been able to do this. And on this occasion of 105 years, it's a very, very lofty experience to be part of this university, which was part of modern India's aspirations, growth, culture, history. I am not talking anything about the subject. As I mentioned, I thought as a last speaker, it is always better to quote Kalidasa in the first canto, fourth shloka, where he had already mentioned that it is very difficult to be a poet. I mean, something like Udupena Asmi Sagaram or Pramshulibhe Phale Lobhat. He says how difficult it is. Finally, the fourth shloka, he says beautifully, Athava Kritavagdware Vamshesmin Purvasuribi Mano Ratna Samitkirne Sutrasye Vasti Me Gati. Because even if you have to talk something about the Purvasuris, the people who have already spoken had already mentioned beautifully all these matters. So you only have to connect it through a thread, like the diamond has already pierced through the pearl. I have been given some kind of a facility in this regard by Professor Sanjeev Kumar Sharma. Sorry, Professor Sanjeev Kumar. But I don't need to talk to this august gathering about what Mahatma Gandhi's Hindu Swaraj is, that small work, what he conceptualized by this, what is concept of the ideas encapsulating in that, what is self-rule or rule over self or rule within, etc., etc. I don't need to. Instead, I only want to mention some of the humbling experiences. I used to, as Director HRD Ministry, I was also member secretary for a beautiful institution called NCRI, National Council for Rural Institutes, an agency which was working in the rural area, who did a 2-day workshop in Wardha, Mahatma Ji's ashram. I recall sitting along with, that was a topic on Nai Talim, and I recall sitting with people like Narayan Desai, Mahadev Desai's son, Dr. Sudarshan Iyengar, very famous Gandhians, etc., and discussing about the topics that Srimati Miriam and Nilofarji, etc., had mentioned about the Talim, the new Talim, which again has come out in this concept, It is etched in my mind where in Wardha, near there is the Chaupal or whatever in the front, there is a beautiful 2 or 3 lines of Yajurveda from the Sri Rudram. Vishwam Pushtam Grame Asmin Anaturam. In the Sri Rudra, this is one of the shloka, which always, which was a pole star for Mahatma Ji also. Vishwam Pushtam. In this universe, the universe of in Anaturam Grame, our Vishwam is Pushtam, our universe. The whole concept of living with the nature and as part of nature. Taking a clue from that, I would only want to look at 1 minute of your time to have a critical look at the concept of Swaraj. Professor Sanjeev Kumar had already mentioned about the idea of suffering, Panchayat versus Parliament, and hedonism versus asceticism, etc. That is the core of this topic. From that perspective, Mahatma Gandhi, the best quote that one could imagine or one could always remember is of what is attributed to Einstein. The generations to come would scarce believe that ever a man in flesh and blood had walked this. Because his asceticism was so strong and so I would like to say it was so sadist and masochist, so cruel an asceticism. Any great work of art, the questions of eternal relevance comes. It applies to this work also. There's a famous statement that anything worth discussing in this world, anything that is worth discussing in this world is pregnant with its own binary. Beauty has got ugliness behind it. Wealth has got poverty. Man is woman. Anything, it is. Shakespeare, Tolstoy's Anna Karenina, or great works, Vyasa. If it applies to a great extent to Bible, Quran, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayanam also, the relevance and the need to look at it from the time perspective, the need to interpret it and reinterpret. It is not that in the same context, in the same manner and way it was written, it has to be seen and, believed or followed. It will not apply to any great work of art. The eternal binary of idealism versus realism, or the modern day tussle of development versus, or developmental needs versus pastoral contentment, urbanization versus rusticism. I only want to draw your attention. I am not a great scholar on Gandhi. I am not even a teacher like my fellow, I'm like the august audience that is in front of me. I only want to touch upon, to suggest is to create, to name is to destroy. I don't have the wherewithal to go deeper into it, but I think I'll be making my point clear by simply throwing a bit of light onto this. Our notions of development, our notions of consumerism, mindless exploitation of nature. In the context of Mahatma Gandhi, what he said beautifully, that there is sufficient to meet the needs of everybody, but not for the greed of any. That is on the one side. Can we, at the same time, if at all the lack of relevance in today's notion of success, today's notion of development, that is on the other side. We all know there are parents, there are students. For students, notion of success, same is applicable to students, parents also. Our notion of success has become inversely proportionate to the distant with which or from which our children are with us. If he is staying with us, he is least successful. If he goes to Dubai, slightly better, or to Chennai or Bengaluru, he is in IT. He is in Dubai. He is in London, slightly better. US, the best. Our notions of so that is when the whole world is thinking like that. Can you fight against one person? The whole world, can one person fight against a concept of the entire universe, entire generation? I only want to throw it. Along with that, the role of three organs in the state also, the welfare is the most important for the individuals. Most important issue for a human being, for a family, for a person is welfare measure. When it comes to the state, it is wealth creation. All the states are, or the governments or the states are known by the wealth it created or creates. That is why Singapore is what it is, or Dubai is what it is, or New York is what it is. And that is how India is being considered as a great, the second biggest or third biggest or fourth biggest, fifth biggest, the entire topic about the trillion economy kind of. State has to create the economy kind of a thing. In between, the civil society's role as to. I'll rest my arguments. There are more people to listen to. But the relevance of Gandhi at the same time is that what we are doing to the environment, our greed. Among the 15, I'm told that there are something to 15 billion, living organisms in the whole world. 14 billion years of universe's existence from the Big Bang theory. I'm not going into the topic of cosmic calendar by Carl Sagan and all. I'll definitely request my young students young friends to go through it. Concept of cosmic calendar. 15 billion living organisms, small, big. We are the only one. While the entire creativity is entirely attributed to us, we have made this world what it is. We are the only one who creates maximum amount of destruction to our universe in order to suit our living comfort, our maneuverability to make things good for us. On the one hand, the huge damage that create around on the one side, and the increasing irrelevance that we are making ourselves, the dispensability that we attribute to the human beings by quantum mechanics or 3D printing or even cyborgs and artificial intelligence, etc. There are people already who have started predicting that human beings may go from this world like the dinosaurs, etc., in the next 500 to 600 years. At this time, Gandhi has a lot of relevance, both positive and critical. I compliment this university for this, the series of programs that it has organized as part of his 105th Foundation Day. Once again, I thank you, everybody, for your attention. Once again, thank the Vice Chancellor for inviting me. It's been a great experience. Thank you for your attention. Thank you. Jai Hind.